What if financial stability has nothing to do with how much you earn? Someone making $150,000 a year can be living paycheck to paycheck with zero buffer and real debt. Someone making a third of that can be genuinely, quietly stable. The difference isn't the income, it's the rules. Here are 12 of them. Rule 1. Everything costs more than the sticker price. A $5,000 boat isn't a $5,000 purchase. It's registration, insurance, storage, fuel, winterizing, and repairs stacked on top every single year you own it. Add it up honestly, and that $5,000 boat can easily cost another $2,000 or $3,000 annually just to keep afloat, in every sense of the word. The same logic applies to a house with a pool, a car with premium trim, or a hobby with expensive gear. The purchase price is just the entry fee, not the actual cost of admission. Before buying anything significant, price the total cost of ownership, not the number on the tag. Ask specifically, what does this cost me every year I own it, not just the day I bought it? Rule 2. Think in opportunity cost, not just price. A $500 a month financed car and a $5,000 beater that lasts 3 years aren't just two different cars, they're two different financial futures. Invest that same $500 a month instead, and compounding alone can turn it into roughly $18,000 over that same 3 years. The car isn't just costing you the payment, it's costing you what the payment could have become. This is the hardest rule to feel in the moment, because the cost of the car is immediate and visible, while the cost of not investing is invisible and deferred. You never see the $18,000 that didn't happen, which is exactly why this rule gets ignored more than almost any other on this list. Rule 3. Automate your savings so it never depends on willpower. If saving requires you to make an active decision every single month, willpower eventually loses, on a bad month, to a good enough excuse. Automation removes the decision entirely. The money moves before you ever have the chance to talk yourself out of it. Set the transfer for the day your paycheck lands, not a few days later, and route it somewhere that isn't one tap away in the same app you check daily. The goal isn't discipline. It's removing the moment where discipline would even be required. Before Rule 4, if these rules are landing, subscribing helps this channel keep making videos like this one. Rule 4. Stop upgrading things that still work. A phone, a car, furniture. If it's functioning, the upgrade is optional, not necessary, and optional purchases financed as if they were necessary is exactly how lifestyle creep quietly drains a stable income. Ask one honest question before any upgrade. Is the current one actually broken or just older than you'd like it to be? Those are two very different problems, and only one of them is actually a problem. Rule 5. Adopt an enough is enough spending philosophy. There's a point where more square footage, a nicer car, a bigger closet stops adding meaningful value to your actual life and starts just adding cost. Finding that point, specifically for you, and holding it, is worth more than almost any single financial decision you'll make this year. This isn't about deprivation or refusing to enjoy your money. It's about noticing the exact point where additional spending stops buying additional happiness, and treating that point as a real, meaningful ceiling rather than a soft suggestion you'll exceed the moment a bigger number becomes available to you. Rule 6. Buy quality when it meaningfully reduces replacement frequency. This isn't a blanket, buy expensive rule. It's specific. If a higher quality version of something genuinely lasts 3 times longer, it can be the cheaper choice over time, even at a higher upfront cost. The rule is about total cost, not sticker price, applied in the other direction. A pair of boots that cost 3 times more but lasts 5 times longer isn't a splurge. It's actually the frugal choice, once you do the real math instead of the sticker price math. The mistake isn't spending more. The mistake is spending more without checking whether it actually buys you anything beyond the purchase itself. Rule 7. Build the buffer before you build the lifestyle. An emergency fund isn't a reward for stability. It's the thing that makes a bad month survivable without debt, without panic, and without derailing everything else on this list. Skip this rule, and every other rule on this list becomes fragile, because one unexpected expense with no buffer behind it can undo months of following rules 1 through 6 perfectly. The buffer isn't a nice-to-have sitting at the bottom of the list. It's structural. It's what keeps the rest of the structure standing when something ordinary and unplanned inevitably happens. Rule 8. Measure your progress by net worth, not income. Income is what arrives. Net worth is what you actually keep, after the sticker prices, the opportunity costs, and the upgrades you didn't need. It's one of the only numbers on this list that tells you the truth, because income can rise for years while net worth stays completely flat if the rest of this list is being quietly ignored the whole time. Track that one number, even roughly, once a quarter, and you'll know within minutes whether these rules are actually working or just sound good in theory. Rule 9. Give every non-essential purchase a waiting period before you buy it. 24 hours for smaller purchases, a full week for anything larger. This isn't about denying yourself things. It's about separating the version of you that feels an impulse from the version of you that actually has to live with the purchase and the payment. Most impulse spending doesn't survive contact with a genuine waiting period, and the purchases that do survive it were probably worth making anyway. Rule 10. Capture every raise before your lifestyle finds it first. The moment your income increases, redirect the increase, or at least half of it, into savings or investing before it ever touches your regular spending account. Lifestyle has a way of quietly expanding to fill whatever room a raise creates, and the only reliable way to stop that expansion is to remove the room before it has the chance to. Rule 11. Audit your recurring costs on a fixed schedule, not whenever you happen to remember. Subscriptions, memberships, small recurring charges, none of them feel significant individually, which is exactly why they're so easy to let accumulate for months or years past the point they were actually adding value. Once a quarter, on a specific date, list every recurring charge and ask honestly whether each one still earns its place. Rule 12. And this one is easy to overlook because it isn't really about money directly. Pay attention to who you spend the most time around financially. Spending habits are contagious in both directions. The baseline of normal spending in your closest social circle quietly becomes your own baseline too, whether you notice it happening or not. You don't need to change your friends. You do need to notice when a shared normal is quietly pulling your own spending somewhere you didn't actually choose on purpose. None of these rules require a high income to follow. That's the entire point. Financial stability was never really about how much arrives, it's about what happens to it after it does. And these 12 rules are what happens to it, one repeatable decision at a time. So if you're wondering where to actually start, here's the short version. Don't try to adopt all 12 rules simultaneously. That's a reliable way to abandon all 12 within a month. Start with Rule 3. Automate the savings. It's the one rule that, once set up, keeps working without your daily attention, which makes it the highest leverage first move on this entire list. From there, Rule 7, the buffer, gives you the structural floor that makes every other rule survivable when life inevitably throws something unplanned at you. Everything else on this list, the sticker price thinking, the opportunity cost math, the waiting periods, the recurring cost audits, gets genuinely easier to practice once those first two are quietly running in the background, because you're no longer making every single financial decision from a place of zero margin. Financial stability was never a number you eventually earn your way into. It's a short list of repeatable behaviors, available at any income level, starting with whichever one you actually set up today instead of adding to next month's list.